Hi, this is Carl Kruger talking about Clause 8 of the ISO 9001 Quality Standard. The real action is starting with this one. It's focused on how businesses deliver quality products and services. The point is about Clause 8, Operations Clause, that it's focused on the day-to-day work of that organization. And oftentimes, this is what people think ISO is all about. It is vital. It covers a huge range of focus points, but it's not the only one, as you've seen. Section 8.1 has to do with the operational planning and control. When creating procedures in the first place, they must link and align so there's a seamless process from one to the next to ensure that the quality controls can be applied throughout the entire process. Section 8.2 is about understanding customer requirements. If we know what the customer wants, then we can ensure that we can build or make or create, if we're talking about a service, what the customer has actually asked for. Clearly, defining what the customer actually wants and needs will prevent costly mistakes. And consequently, we need to be clear about what the customer needs, setting the goals according to that, and ensuring that those trigger points are met on the way, resulting in meeting the customer requirements for the final product. Section 8.3 is about design and development. Sometimes non-applicable if it just depends what you're doing, but where it is applicable, it kicks in here. The whole point about this section is that it's a structured process for designing new products or services to prevent errors or failures being built in it from the very beginning. Now, this process will go on through various iterations as people get more experienced, but the aim initially is to ensure that you use your skills, your experience, and draw on other people's skills and experience to feed into this to minimize errors and failures right from the start. 8.4 relates to the control of external providers. If your suppliers and contractors are not up to the mark, then your product will miss the mark as well. So suppliers and contractors must meet quality expectations too. These expectations can be built into the contractual relationships that you have with them. They can be built in either for the specific job or for the overarching contract. You may then get kickback from them, and they say, well, this is the quality we work to, take it or leave it. In which case you need to look at what they provide and ensure they meet the requirements already, and if they don't use them. They may be cheap, but if they're not good enough, they will spoil your product and your reputation. Section 8.5 is about production and service provision. This is to do with the way the work must be properly controlled to ensure consistency, so that what's produced on one day matches the quality requirements for all other days. It may not relate to identical work in terms of what it can do, but it must still meet the customer's need, do so within the quality specs, and in an efficient and effective way, so you can make some profit on it. Section 8.6 relates to the release of products and services. So it takes place just prior to dispatch to the customer. So the product or service should be checked before delivery. Is what was required to be there included? Does it cover all the specifications the way the customer had set them? Is it spelt correctly? Is it legible? Are the pages the right way up? Are there bits missing? There are so many different things, as you can imagine. So check before delivery, ideally by someone else than the person who's just done the packing, so they know what they're looking at. But if they weren't involved, it will mean that they're giving it a fresh pair of eyes. Sometimes that's not possible. And you may need to have some checklists as well to help make sure they don't miss anything. The next section is 8.7, Control of Nonconforming Outputs. This is a vital one. It sounds very unexciting, but actually it's one of the most important. When there's a defective product or service, i.e. something that's been identified to be wrong with it, whether by the organization itself or by the client who sent it back, upset and not happy, wherever possible, the reason for that problem should be identified and recorded and followed up. If it was caused because someone, for example, didn't pay attention, then the reason why it was caused should be identified, whether it's a good reason or a bad reason, because sometimes there are justifiable reasons for things going wrong. Either which way, the procedure needs to be changed so that that can never happen again. The point about this is it ensures that any mistake that ever happens is identified and alterations made to the procedures so that mistake never happens again.